everyone. Welcome to this week's live session. Thank you all for showing up at a completely different time. It's kind of fun to switch it up occasionally just so that we can, get people from other time zones more involved, of course. But the reason for this is Luke is actually traveling. Luke is in Japan this week, and he's running behind a little bit for the live sesh right now. So I am alone for now. So if you have any questions about community or design or art and that kind of stuff, please throw them in the chat. Of course, you can throw in any questions you have for Luke as well into the chat, and I will pull them aside as we see them, and we can hold on to them for Luke when he gets back. But anyways, as always, as I start every AMA, if you have any great questions, throw them in the YouTube live chat so we can bring them up. If you are hanging out in game right now, make sure you go to the theater in Terravilla North. There is a portal set up in Terravilla Central right above the fountain that takes you right there. There's a small energy booster and a bunch of people hanging out. And if you click on the microphone on the right-hand side of the stage, you can live stream this YouTube stream right from in-game. So it's a really fun thing. And yes, okay. So we've got, let's just hop right into merch. Yeah, so merch is coming slowly but surely. It's still going to be several weeks before it is live, but I just want to, I know I've talked about this in the past, but let's just kind of dive into how we're doing merch. So this is one of the merch hoodies that we'll be selling. We're selling two different types. They're identical black, heavyweight, literally the nicest hoodie I've ever owned. When we talked to the company, they suggested, actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm like way ahead of myself here. Black, beautiful, heavyweight, oversized fit, Pixels logo. And the other version is the Pixels logo, but it's black and white. So if you wanted something slightly more neutral, there's a version for you. Now, going back to cost. When we first engaged with this company, we did so because of the quality and just like how we work with these people. We didn't want to work with a mass manufacturer that was going to give us poor quality, print on demand, just really crappy, thin, not high quality stuff. We wanted something that was incredible. So we went with this specific person who's been wonderful to work with. And initially, he suggested we sell these hoodies for $150 US. And we said, hold up, absolutely not a chance. We're not doing that. We can't do that. So things we have done to cut costs. Number one, Pixels is not taking a cut whatsoever. We are selling these hoodies to you at the cost that it is costing us to buy them, which cuts out a significant amount of overhead. So we're doing the best we can to lower the price as much as possible. These hoodies are going to cost about the same amount that you can expect a merch hoodie to cost in general, I would say, but like really low quality ones, like not good ones, not this. This is the nicest hoodie I've ever owned. And you know that you can believe me when I say that because we're not making a profit from these whatsoever. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we lost a bit of money on them because we're going to give away a few and, the running costs of the Shopify website, those sorts of things as well. So we're probably actually going to lose some money on this, but we are doing it for a purpose. We want to, we want everyone to feel a part of this community, like IRL as well, right? And if you own land, like how exciting is it to walk around just like little Pixels logo on your shirt? And if you see someone in the street with a Pixels logo on their shirt, how exciting would that be, right? So that's the first part of merch that I want to talk about. The second part is how we're setting it up, which is also a way that we are able to sell them for a significantly lower price to you all and cut costs. And that is the way that we're manufacturing them. So most companies will purchase from the manufacturer, like, I don't know, 100 hoodies or something like that. They're pre-made, they're ready to ship, they're ready to go. And then you order and they ship out within, I don't know, a few days, and then shipping times, whatever, you get it in a week and a half, let's say. We actually are not doing any pre-production. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the merch store for a couple weeks, maybe a week or two, something like that. And everyone will place their orders. And then we're going to close the store and you won't be able to order these hoodies again. And then we're going to go into production, which will take, I think, 3 to 4 weeks, and then shipping, which is, depends on where you are in the world. So there's going to be a bit of time before you actually get the hoodie that you order. But the reason we're going this way is, like I said, it cut costs, and it's also so significantly better from like a sustainability aspect, which is also really important to us. We are a farming game after all, right? So that is something that, you know, Luke and I especially are very passionate about. So we wanted to do that in the most sustainable way as possible. So yeah, that's everything I got for merch right now. I'm so excited. I cannot wait for you guys to be wearing your hoodies. So expect them still to be a few weeks out. We're still figuring all of the logistics out around everything like that. But that is merch. Okay, Luke's with me now, so I'm going to bring him up, but I want to dive into some other community stuff in just a moment. Luke.
Hey, everybody. Oh yeah, no, appreciate the patience. Thank you guys for letting us move the AMA time back. But this is also better for you know, some people in some other time zones. I'm here in Tokyo right now, here for Japan Blockchain Week, and I'll be going to IBS the week after, meeting with a bunch of people in person just to kind of get that last mile of, you know, our next milestones out and to get ready for this token release. So yeah, basically everything that I'm doing over the next month is just making sure that, hey, let's get this token release out on time. And I'm just out here doing whatever I need to do. So here in Japan, and we'll be meeting with some of the people that we need to meet with to get that last mile done. And yeah, super excited to be here also. So yeah, I'm in the world's tiniest hotel room. This hotel room is literally the size of the bed. But yeah, excited to be here and excited to do this AMA. And I have some more empathy for all of you on this time zone because we have probably set the AMA in the worst possible time for people who are in JST or Korean time right now. It's at like 2 a.m. regularly. So we moved it back a little bit. It's 9 a.m. here. And yeah, we'll dive into a bit about what we're up to today, like how much progress that we have left. And yeah, excited to hear some more community updates from Heidi. And then I guess we can talk about UGC, like what we're seeing with that, and kind of dig into some of that too. And I see some good questions in the comments that we can answer as well.
Yeah. Okay. So next thing I wanted to talk about were these solstice parties. So much fun. I hope you guys all turned out for the 3 that we've had already. Yesterday, Pixel Chickens kicked it off. We had a blast there on the chicken farm. And then this morning, we had the Rat Pack, which was a blast. They were live streaming on Twitch and they had all these like fun things on the screen and music playing. It was funny because in the end I had to get some work done, but I kept them open, you know, on a screen. And when the event was over, it was like, where did the music go? You know, I was vibing, I was having a blast. So that one was really fun. And then we had TIFF who threw their event and they did like a full scavenger hunt and gave away a bunch of stuff, which was really, really fun as well. So I'm so excited for the ones that are to come. Let me quickly pull up the calendar. We've had some more added. So if you're on our Discord, you probably will have seen that I posted like a rough schedule of the ones that I was aware of at the time of that posting, but there are more now and a couple changes. So we've got Web3 Triads coming tomorrow. I won't bother saying times because it's all in PT, or I guess I can. That one's at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And then we have Plot, which is, okay, all of my people that are on the AMA right now, which you're probably in an Eastern Asian time zone, Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time, which I think is Saturday morning for you all. So 2 hours from now. What's 2 hours from now? 11 a.m. for you?
Yeah, 11 a.m.
Saturday, 11 a.m. Japan time. There is a party, the Plot Party, on land 2871. So that one will be really fun as well. And like I mentioned in the past, these summer solstice parties are all about energy, right? From the sun. It's the longest day of the year. Today is the longest day of the year in the Northern Hemisphere, of course. But yeah, to celebrate, we wanted to do this big energy boosting all these parties with energy boosters. So yeah, go with your energy drained completely. Within an hour, you will be completely replenished. So those are the ones coming this week. And then next week, I think the plan is still a little all over the place. So I'm not going to dive deep, but I know we have Dizzy Dragons on Thursday, Ice Cream Sandwich on Wednesday, LFG on Tuesday. And then I think we have a couple more coming. So It's been a blast. This has been really fun so far, and we've only had 3. So stay tuned. I will post the rough schedule as always in an update in the next few days. But yeah, we've got Web3 Triads tomorrow. Yeah, I think that's the only one happening tomorrow. So that one should be fun. I'm excited. Okay. The next thing we can dive into is UGC. So if you're on Discord, you probably know I've been working with a lot of you guys on the UGC submissions and kind of trying to guide you in the right way. And, I did see a comment here. Someone was saying that it feels too harsh. It feels like very few people can make it in reality. And at the end of the day, these are items that are going into our game, and our art standard of our game is really, really high. I find it difficult to match our art style a lot of the time, and I've been doing it for a year, and I'm not a professional artist by any means, but it is really, really hard. And there's a reason we want to like keep up that quality level, right? Because these are objects that are going to be in our game forever. So they should look like they fit the game, right? But I do understand what you're saying. And like I said, I've been working with a lot of people on this, like to improve and like get them going and help them match the quality level. And the number one thing I can tell you all is to look at what we have in game, screenshot it if you must, bring it into your Pixel software, and kind of copy how we're shading things. So if you're looking at, I don't know, like a tree, look at our trees, kind of like look at how we're shading it. If you're looking at a building, like kind of look at how we have shaded it and try to match that as closely as possible. And that's probably the easiest way for you to do so. I would suggest.
Yeah, I will say this feature really is for the artist in our community. And there are plenty of you, which is great to see that. And yeah, we have to keep that standard high. But that's kind of the point. It's unfortunate, but probably only like 1 to 2% of you at the end of the day actually might be able to get content into it. But yeah, we've also seen some really interesting things where, if you don't have the art skills, what's great is pixel art isn't very expensive to have commissioned or made. You can go on Fiverr and have somebody do it for you. And we've seen a few people do that as well. So for example, like guilds have been going out and doing that. Some NFT collections have been going out and doing that too. And some really cool to see. There's actually been some really high quality stuff that's been submitted. So yeah, we're super excited about what possibilities that unlocks. And then, UGC is kind of going to be like it's going to be rolled out in phases when we're thinking about it as well too. The other thing that we're really interested in is letting you guys create your own maps and letting you guys create your own worlds. I think we're going to call those realms. But the interesting thing is when we allow you to do that, we can open up the possibility of different styles. It's still really hard to create a consistent pixel art style. And again, it's like probably more geared towards the people who have done this before or who have like a little bit of game experience. But what's interesting is if we open up like letting you create your own map and you upload your own like tile sets and floors and things like that, the style can actually vary quite differently than the in-game style in pixels. But the important part is it just needs to be cohesive. And in our previous product, we experimented with this a lot actually. We had like an HD version, we had like a pixel art version, we had like a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens when we open that up and what some of you all will do. We'll probably have a couple of different options and we'll probably give you some pre-made offsets that you can match as well. But yeah, when it's your own realm and then when it's your own world, we can relax the quality standards a little bit because it's kind of on you to make it look nice and it's your responsibility to make it look nice. For us, Pixels game loop in this Pixels world, we have to make it look nice. It's kind of our MO. But yeah, when we open it up and it's your own world, then it's really up to you.
Okay, and then this person, I submitted an item to UGC, but I feel as though it may appear smaller than intended in-game. Would love to know the max size for UGC submissions. So I get this question a lot, and I think there is a max size, and I think you can find it on the page or just honestly ask someone in Discord. I don't remember exactly. But this question actually has a completely different answer than a number. If we gave you any feedback like, oh, this is too big or this is too small, it's because in comparison to other objects in game for the item that you've intended to add to the game, it doesn't match. And sometimes I think we've thrown in the word, I think some people have been saying like the resolution or something like that is off, right? So that's generally talking about the size of the object. So let's say I know some people have made like the hot dog stand, for instance, or something, right? If they had submitted that hot dog stand twice the size, it would have been like the size of one of the buildings or the houses. It wouldn't have made sense. So we would have said, hey, this is too big. Or we've had some people submit, I don't even know, like a fountain, for instance. And without diving into too much about pixel art, it was enormous, right? Like it is just too big in comparison to the fountains we have already in game, right? So when you're, and I know it's kind of hard to get a sense of like what a size of something is. So the best thing you can do is understand that we work on a 32 by 32 pixel grid. So one plot of soil is 32 by 32. So what I would do if I were you is open up Aseprite or whatever software you're using, get a 32 by 32 square, and then build from there. So if there's an object that you think, oh, I want it to be a little bit bigger than a plot of soil, then make your canvas size that much bigger. And it'll give you a good sense of, what things should look like and like the size of the things that you want to be making in game.
Yeah, exactly. But again, also, if you're hearing these words for the first time, yeah, it's going to probably take some practice to get to the point where we're going to accept the stuff that you are submitting. Really, like, there's plenty of artists out there, and UGC is super powerful. But yeah, we want to keep a standard quality into the game as well too. So, yeah, we're really excited to see what you guys have done. It's been, pretty interesting so far, and I think it's validating some of the stuff that we were, a bit worried about. There's also some other things that I think we're realizing, okay, we need to figure out as well too. Like, we want to give you guys consistent policies around UGC and what we're going to let in. And that's still kind of a work in progress on our end because, we have to actually see and do it ourselves for a little bit until we kind of understand ourselves what that's going to look like.
Okay. Is it possible to submit a building like the barn size? Yeah, as long as it's good. If it matches our game art and it looks like this is something that definitely fits our game, yes. So that's why I say the size doesn't really matter. It's more the quality and the art style. Okay. I think those for the most part, the UGC questions that I've seen, but if you guys have any more, like I said, I've been helping people every day, all day about these things. So please just like throw your questions. It's also really helpful for us to kind of like gauge like what we need to change, what we need to do, and how we need to be responding better to, rejections and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, throw it at us.
Also, maybe what we could do is we can get a list of, artists that we recommend. If you are an artist, reach out to us. And maybe we can maybe we can give you a lot of references, or a lot of deal flow, free of charge, and just kind of, link you up to everybody who wants to make items in game.
Okay. All right, let's hop into some other questions we had earlier here. So with new gaming ecosystems like New Cyber coming out with their own land and own token, what will you guys do for original land in Pixel to retain value?
Okay, I need to be careful with how I answer this question. I don't want to think about the pixel land in terms of value. But I will say that how we think about the pixel land is we think it's a really great proof of personhood, and we think it's a really great proof of dedication to the ecosystem, that and VIP as well. So we give out basically the same perks to the pixel land as VIP. And what's you're about to see roll out, I think hopefully this week, it might be early next week, is this new dashboard that we're releasing, which will be really powerful. If you guys have used products like rabbithole.gg or some like guild software, we essentially built out our own product like that we're about to roll out. And what it's going to allow us to do is it's going to allow us to create quests that are not completely tied into the game loop, if that makes sense. But essentially, this new dashboard is how we're going to distribute the pixel token. And we can add conditions and set aside separate pools for different types of users with this dashboard. So essentially what we can do is we can just set aside more pixel earnings for certain categories of users, things like landowners, things like the VIP owners, and then things like, the players who have neither. And I'm most interested early on in setting aside more pools for both landowners and VIPs. And that's a really good way that we can add some utility for owning land and to also give out less of the token to people who are botting, give out less of the token to bad actors in the ecosystem, and give out tokens to the players who kind of are here and committed the most. So yeah, expect different sets of reward pools specifically tailored towards landowners, but you'll still have to play. That is the one distinction. Basically, there will be tasks like, farm 20 pot berries, over this week. And if you own land, you'll get access to your own separate pool. If you own VIP, you'll get access to its own pool. And yeah, you won't be competing with like all the free players to get these pools, and they might be, pretty significant pools.
Okay, and then they followed up with this question here. Also, will stuff being made in the original Pixel world be utilized to craft things in other worlds like New Cyber, etc.?
Yeah, I'm super interested to see what that interoperability ends up looking like. So all of these items on the back end technically will be ERC 1155s, even the UGC items. Yeah, if you guys have a preference over ERC 1155 or 721, let us know. But these probably make sense to have in one collection as Pixels UGC, and having them all just be different ERC 1155s. Or honestly, maybe the same ERC 1155, all just with different metadata attached to them. But yeah, they will be, like that, and hence interoperable also. Yeah, if other games read that, that might be something that we want to play with in the future. The crafted items are interesting though, because it doesn't necessarily make sense to, I guess like multiple layers of crafting could make sense. And depending on like resource generation, that's the one part of UGC that we still need to figure out. I think when we're thinking about the long term, essentially how we're going to roll out UGC is we're going to start with we start with objects. The second that we'll probably do is maps. The third that we'll do is entities and interactivity. The fourth that we'll start to add in is, things like questing, and like some game state elements. And then the fifth thing that we'll start to introduce is economy. Actually letting each tenant or each realm start to introduce elements of economy inside of their games. So, scarcity, minting, crafting, all of that side of things.
All right, let's hop into some other questions. Can we get more game loops involved with woodwork / textiling? Feels like everything is food and these other industries are abandoned. Yeah, I mean, for sure. We're constantly thinking of new ideas of how to engage like every aspect of the game. And I think often we're thinking about user personas when we go that path. But yes, absolutely. And I will also just say right now, if you're saying this and you have ideas, please throw them in our feedback form. I was just reading through, our feedback form is directly connected to a channel in Slack, and we're constantly reading through all of the messages that we get in our feedback form. And I saw some like really cool ones today, like 3 or 4, where I was like, yes, this, and they already have tickets created. Like Tyler, who is just like, I don't even know what his job role is at this point. He just does everything, but he has made tickets for like tons of these different things that like users have thought of and come up with and entered into our feedback form. So if you want to have any ideas entered and you want to enter them into the form, go to our Discord. We have it linked under help or something, or you can go !feedback and the link will just automatically pop up. But please give us all the ideas if you have any for these specific industries that you're talking about. Okay, when VIP lounge timer, really funny because I literally just created the ticket for this like today. So I'm sorry I didn't create it earlier, I guess I should say, because I know we've been talking about it for so long. Unfortunately, it just hasn't been a priority, but I think it definitely needs to be a priority. So I have created the ticket and we will be pushing that through the design and implementation and all of that process. So hopefully it will come soon. Okay. Will NFT landowners be the only people who are able to earn Pixel?
No, but we'll set aside different pools. So the question was, will NFT landowners be the only people able to earn Pixel? No, but we'll set aside pools. And if you look in the tokenomics of Pixels and how we are kind of thinking about it, we only have so many Pixel that we can give out each month. The reward pool of the general Pixels ecosystem rewards vest linearly over like 4 to 5 years. So we have like a set max amount that we can give out each month. And from that, we can give out different pools of that token to different types of users. So I like the idea of giving a good amount to landowners, a good amount to VIP, and then some for free users and user acquisition, or things like people who are submitting good UGC, building good UGC, people who are sharing with friends, things like that. So they won't be the only ones who are able to earn Pixel, but they'll have their own pools of Pixel, which will be significant.
Okay. I know you answered this already, but why are you in Japan?
Yeah, I'm here for Non-Fungible Tokyo, Japan Blockchain Week, and then another conference called IBS next week. Yeah, meeting with a bunch of people in person, just trying to wrap up, the last stages of everything that we need to get the token out. Again, there's a lot out of our hands at this point, as we're trying to, just finish up all the deals that we need to finish up essentially, and have the token set up for the best and most successful launch that we can.
Do you know what IBS stands for, conference wise?
IVS.
Yes, IVS. Okay. I was hearing IBS and I was like, as
No, IVS.
very interesting choice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a crypto conference. I actually don't know what it stands for.
All right. No worries there. Now that that's cleared up. Okay. Is there a way for us to +1 ideas? So, okay. Way back, we had Canny, which was a great system that allowed you guys to upload ideas and feedback, and you could upvote or downvote even ideas. And we did away with it because, if we're being totally honest, from an internal point of view, it was incredibly difficult for us to manage, and we just didn't have the manpower. However, Tyler and I have been talking a lot about re-implementing it. So I think we're going to give it a go, and we're going to try to use Canny again and just see if we can work on our internal processes to make it sustainable, because we do agree that it makes a difference, having you guys have multiple input on it. And also we're able to provide feedback. So there's a bit of a loop there. You don't feel like you're just like submitting something into the abyss, right? So we fully agree with you, and we're going to try reinstate Canny, and we'll see how it goes. Could we get the feedback form back on the game sign? I think we can make that happen. I will ask Tyler. I'm sure he'll be more than thrilled to add that back in. Okay. Is it possible to have a few quests for mid to low players, since you need to be kind of high to grill and sauce quests? I hear you. Okay. I am nowhere near the cooking level I need to be to participate in those quests. So I feel like, oh my gosh, I have to grind cooking to get higher and higher. And so I do think that we could definitely do some, mid to low level quests upcoming. And this goes back to something I talk about constantly on the AMA. So I'm sorry if some of you are sick of me talking about this, but user personas. So those quests were targeted at our users that are grinders. They're really high level. They participated in tastemakers. They did a lot of this high level stuff. They are at extremely high levels in everything in game. And that's kind of what those quests were focused at, or focused towards. I think our other user persona are the more casual players, the beginners, the, maybe non-landowners, the people that are just kind of hanging out, having community fun, that kind of stuff. So I think that, I think the next step, or maybe not the next step, but in the next steps, we can definitely implement something like that.
Yeah, I would say that's actually probably pretty important in the next stages. In the short term, we need more lower level and mid level content. And yeah, we have more coming soon.
Yeah. Okay. Why tasks are becoming super complex to complete? For example, cooking is impossible to achieve if not VIP. Even with VIP is extremely hard. So, I mean, this is kind of what we were just talking about a little bit. I don't think you need VIP to level up high in cooking. I don't really know. I don't really see the relationship, I guess, is what I'm saying. And if you want to further explain that, I would really appreciate it. I don't think there's a relationship here between VIP and cooking.
Just like energy used.
Yeah, just like selling and energy used, I guess. Yeah, I guess that would make sense because you can get more energy from the VIP pool. Um, so that's fair. But yeah, like I just said, those quests are intentionally very hard. They're the hardest quests we've ever released. And more things will come, right? Especially in like if we want to push growth and expand in new markets and all of that, obviously we're going to have more content for the other user persona, the beginner, the casual player, all of that,
Yeah,
right? So it's
one thing that we're excited about is the like the new rewards dashboard that we're releasing. So this will be a short-term solution where we can give out, daily tasks of things that you normally wouldn't do, like farming like a crop that you haven't farmed in a while, or yeah, doing like the silk slug hatchery, which you haven't done in a while. So things like that.
Okay, and this person is saying that cooking is hard to level up. If you did burger race, your cooking skill is extremely high. Mine is not. I'm like level 16 and you need to be 25. And I came level 700 and something in Tastemakers. So it's not totally true, but I do feel you. I feel you. I'm like, oh man, I don't know when I'm going to get time to level up to 25 in cooking because it will take a long time. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Okay. Would it be an idea to make a light paper for how pixels will be given out that would clear things up and give people goals to work towards?
Yeah, good idea. Yeah, I think that is probably pretty important. We can do that in the next week or two. Obviously, I'm a bit busy this next week or so, but yeah, we have that all internally. Yeah, I can prep a doc externally. I've been meaning to do that for a little bit.
Okay. Can we get the marketplace to allow buy offers? I love this idea. This is a great idea. It kind of becomes a little bit like auction vibe, which I'm not against. But yeah, throw it in our feedback form, and we'll see if we can have an internal discussion and see if it makes sense. But I like it. It's a good idea. Okay. Why reducing the crop sell price is a trend. What does it bring to the game in general? Nearly anybody wants to, I guess you're saying nobody wants to nominate the mayor. Okay, so our game is built around this concept of harmony and the idea that harmony can be disrupted. And I feel like, honestly, our gameplay and our game loops right now, we haven't pushed that front much or enough. There isn't enough disruption of harmony in the game. So I feel like this is almost one of the first ways that we've gone about introducing something that's a little annoying and a little disruptive to the game. So mayor candidates are given a few different options of different things that they can choose from. So if everyone is choosing that, that's just because as the candidate, that's their platform. They think that's the best one to choose. If you want to choose something different, I think you should run for mayor and be a candidate, and we'll see what you choose, right? They have a few different options. I know they've been leaked before, so you can go in Discord and see if anyone feels like leaking them again. They change every time we do a new mayor, a little bit here and there, one or two. But yeah, so it's just the negative, right? There's got to be a negative. Not everything is sunshine and roses, right? Okay. Yes, here. Happy to be the winner from last week from trivia. Okay, so let me address that because I haven't talked about it on camera. Well, actually, I did talk about it on camera on our Discord, but not on our AMA. So when we ran trivia, and we found the people that had entered every single day correctly for all of the 28 days, we pulled up the list. It was, I think, 44 users. There were a few users on our Discord that were like, hey, I entered the exact same thing at the same time as a user that was on your list, and I'm not. What's going on? So we took that very seriously and we dove really, really hard into all of our data. We redid everything. It took us like a day and a half to review and make sure everything was solid. And we uncovered a bug in our system that skipped users that had changed their username throughout the 28 days. And so there were 5 users that were skipped. So to make it fair, what we did was we ran another giveaway for a second NFT land. Doesn't come with an apiary, but a second NFT land. And redrew, obviously took out the person that had already won, redrew with the added 5 users. So Petav, I think that's how you pronounce it, was the winner of that land. And I'm so happy for you. I know this is your first land, and I could not be more excited for you to get it. The reason it is not in your wallet is because we have not sent it yet. But we will obviously be sending it to you very shortly. There's a lot of things on our plate, and I really, really apologize for the delay
That
on
one's on me though. Yeah, I'll send it over. It's
I
just
didn't
in
want to
the
throw you under the bus, but
no,
Luke,
throw me under the bus instead of you getting thrown under the bus. Yeah, no, it's just it's in the team Gnosis safe. So I'll send that over. Yeah, if you haven't gotten it, be mad at me, not at Heidi.
I was trying to be kind, but yes, blame Luke. It's Luke. Okay. But yeah, congrats. I'm so excited for you. Okay. All right, Luke, are there any questions you want to pull up here?
Oh yeah, are there plans to be able to integrate collections from non-Ethereum chains? Yeah, we're gonna have support for that in the near future, like very near future. We have been looking at being multi-chain or potentially even looking at other chain solutions as well too. We're paying a lot in gas right now. It's getting quite expensive. So some scaling solutions are definitely super interesting to us. And other potential options around that are pretty interesting to us. But yeah, we burn a lot in gas. So yeah, looking at something that might be a bit more sustainable in the long run is definitely interested to us. And with that in mind, that means that bringing in support of other chains is pretty important to us as well. On Polygon, the right NFT collection matters. So yeah, we'll start to work with them. There is like 2 Polygon collections that are interesting to us that we haven't actually like reached out with or worked with yet. So maybe we'll do a couple of those. And then yeah, there's other ecosystems that are quite interesting to us too. One thing we haven't explored at all is BNB chain. Arbitrum is like pretty interesting as well. If it's EVM compatible, it's a lot easier for us. And there's definitely interest on our end.
Okay. You could jump the farms via URL before, but with introducing the warp machine, it was
Mm-hmm.
Can that be done? Can that be
Definitely.
done with still noting reduction of energy when jumping lands? Okay, so we went away from that for tons of reasons, but I guess the one I'm going to talk about is gameplay. We found that users were just URL, 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 and you weren't really playing the game. You weren't walking around, you weren't exploring, you weren't finding new things, you weren't engaging in community. You were just going to a land as quickly as possible, warping to another one, and it just felt like a continuous grind loop of like farming scarets, and it wasn't really fun, right? And fun, it's a game. We want you to have fun. We want you to be a part of an adventure, a community. The reason we implemented the depreciation of energy was actually, I think it was having to do with bots. I'll have to talk to our dev that implemented it, but I think it was something for botting specifically. The bots that you don't see, the bots that go into a land and spend like a millisecond there and then leave, right? So I think it has something to do with that. I'm not totally sure, but we will not be implementing URLs again. Okay. Glad I could join my first AMA. So lovely to have you here. We're so happy that you're here. And if the reason you're with us is due to time change, you can thank Luke. And I think we're both really tired right now, which I find really funny. Like you're starting your day and I'm ending my day, and we're both just like tired, but we're going.
Yeah.
It's great.
No, it's funny because when we first started and we were doing the NFT mint, I would do 2 AMAs every day when we did AMAs. We would do one in US hours and one in Asian hours. And we just haven't done one that's accessible for people in this time zone in a while. We do record them now, but it's good to actually interact with this community a bit more.
How long will the vote for mayor stay open? So I think we'll probably close it maybe Wednesday, probably Thursday or Friday morning Pacific time. So I would say you probably have at like 24 to 36 more hours to go and vote. So thank you for the reminder. That was one of the community updates I was meaning to give you all. Go vote for your mayor right now because it will be closing soon. So go to Terravilla Central, go into the city hall, click on the right-hand ballot station and read through everyone's platform and then go vote for your next mayor of Terravilla. What are you laughing at?
Oh, yeah, this person was asking a bunch of questions, just getting them all out. Because yeah, we haven't done an Asian AMA in a while,
Yes,
and they have
no,
all these
I know
questions.
this user. They have asked a few times for things in different time zones, energy parties in different time zones. Well, go to the one Saturday morning. It was 11 a.m. right?
Yep.
11 a.m. Japan time. I'm sorry, I don't know any
ASE.
ASE. Is that how you say it? I'm like
ASE.
Japan
Yeah.
time. Yeah, there is an energy party that will work. And you know what? Throw one yourself. These are open community events. If you can build a community and get people riled up and going and throw something fun and you want to do it in your time zone, we will accommodate. So do it. He's going to have me waking up at like 3 a.m. I just know it now. Or wait, you can do it.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I just wanted to address this. So yeah, TGE date, we're trying to figure that out. I promise you, that's like my literal 100% full-time focus. It's like all I think about every single day, trying to get that ready. There's just things that are not completely in our control now. So for us, in terms of our team, we're ready. In terms of product, we have a bunch of product that's ready to release when we have our TGE ready. So we have a whole new game mechanic built around pets. We have a mint that we're going to be doing in the Pixel token. We have, content that we're prepping for pets as well, and things like quests, things like, other things you can do with them. We're prepping like mini game content around pets as well. There's a lot that we have ready for that. And we have all the pieces for a successful TGE to happen. Now there are different ways that we could vote into the TGE. If we were just going to go on a DEX and do everything decentralized, then we could do it now. But we want to go like a bit more official route with this TGE and have it go better essentially. So we're wrapping up all of that side of things. And we just want to make sure that we have the best possible situation and the best possible partners to be working with for all of this. So we're wrapping that up now. It's partly why I'm in Japan right now. Just meeting with all the last people that we need to be meeting in person, getting things finished in that last mile. But it's close. We're ready. We're super excited about it. And when we have that date, we'll let you know.
All right. And then this user said, I'm more than happy to run one in the Australian time zone. So there you go, guys. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Can we get half sheet pan bulk options for cooking? I know you guys a really long time ago, everyone was asking for bulk items and we never pushed it, but I really want you to put that in the feedback form now so that I can push it to the team because I fully agree with you for the users that wish to participate in these quests with I don't know how to say the name. The new cooking quests, the barbecuing quests, and you want to participate, but your level is really low. It's really hard to level up. I fully agree with you. Please add this to the feedback form, and I will work with the team on trying to figure something out. I can't guarantee it because, game designers have a method to their madness, but I will try my best. Has the team discussed the idea some of us submitted regarding seasonality? I think seasons rolled out monthly, weekly basis.
Yeah, I really liked that.
Yeah, I think we all really like that idea. It's more about like the management of it and like what does each season have, We've done like small things. Like I think we kept the winter wonderland Christmas vibe world for a really long time. But and like the Halloween world, I think was out for a week. But as for fall, summer, winter, that kind of stuff, I think we could definitely do something more on that.
Maybe, this is an idea.
Oh,
maybe not a
write
great
it
idea.
down. Let's go.
Maybe we open source our game balance spreadsheets and see what people can do with those. So the big thing for us right now is just like making changes to the game balance takes up resources. It's like a big effort on our own end. And if you notice, sometimes we make mistakes as well. Yeah, maybe if that's something that we open source, and then you guys can make suggestions when you see that sheet, being like, hey, in the fall season, I propose that you guys should do this and this and this. That's interesting. So, yeah, that might be a way that we could do that. I'll talk with the team on that.
I feel like everyone already knows our game balance. It's incredible the you users that dive in and like figure out our algorithms. It's mind blowing. I feel like you guys already have all that information. Someone suggested day and night cycles.
That's a bit more that's like really heavy, the day and night cycles, because you can't just you need like different assets. So we would basically need to clone all of our different assets with like more dark blue shading, if that makes sense. You can't just put like an overlay on things. And then we don't have a lighting system in the game right now either. I've looked into this pretty heavily. It's interesting. If you can explain why this would be a good thing besides just it looking pretty, then I'm interested in that. But otherwise, we're probably going to be focusing on things that move gameplay forward a bit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, this looks bad. Tinting screens and stuff. You can't do that. No game that does night mode does that.
All right. Okay. Oh, we've already been 52 minutes. Okay. We are going to cut this one off like right at the hour. So if you have any last minute questions, throw them in as soon as you can, because Luke and I have some things on our plate that we need to get to. So, yeah, add all your questions right now. Let me see here. Okay. Can we get a total supply of all items and pixels? So obviously some of them are just continuously generated, so there's no point in really like displaying that. The craftable items, I would say, or the ones that you can purchase from Jerome, those sorts of things. But if you're talking about, you know, the one-time release things, or the UGC created items, I'm not sure if, like from a tech perspective, how flexible it is for us to display that, but I think maybe that's something that we could display when the item is being sold in the marketplace. Like there's X amount available in game. But like I said, I'm not totally sure from like a tech perspective what's possible, but it is a really interesting idea and I totally understand why you would want it. So as I've said 1,000 times already, please put this in the feedback form so we can have a really good discussion on this internally. All right. Mayor is fun, but would a player council consisting of serious players who would like to help with building game loops and quests be an idea? Okay, so I mean, yes, but I just want to say we already work with you guys so much. Like, I know Elephant TM. I've never said your name out loud before. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I know you. I'm with you every day in Discord. I hear your feedback and we talk to the team. You talk to the community team. We talk to the farmhands. Like we are already working together and you're already a participant. So yeah, we could maybe try and see how we can streamline it a bit more. You know, we used to have like a quest ideas form. I don't think we have it much anymore, but yeah, I mean, we're already doing that. We're already building in public. We're working with you guys and we appreciate it so much. I mean, I talk like this all the time, but my goodness, we appreciate you all so much. Like our community is why we're here today. And it's just so beautiful and wonderful. But yeah, I feel like we're already doing this. But yeah, if you have any like further ideas, like let me know. We can chat. Okay. Yeah, any last minute questions, throw them in. We only got a few more minutes here. Okay. When will cooking count towards land XP? Is there hope to have more than one stove, attract more players like other industries? Yeah, so if I'm breaking it down from like a tech perspective, your house is literally a different map than your farm. So right now we have it set up that it's reading your land levels are being read off of your farmland map. And then when you go into your house, it's a different map, right? So it's not like connected in the way that it's not reading that. I'm not sure what's possible. We can try and see if it can be set up because I can totally see why you would want that. but yeah, that's just like total honesty of like why it's not right now. All right. And yeah, I should have mentioned this. Outdoor cooking grills do count towards land XP, and that's for the exact reason that I just mentioned. They're outside, they're on your farm land, they're on the map that's being read by the level reader or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Oh, this is a good question, Luke. I know you've been cutting out a little bit, so I hope you're there. What
Oh yeah.
are the plans for after you launch Pixel?
Yeah, pets and UGC are like the two main areas of focus that we'll be kind of working on. So yeah, we have that whole game mechanic around pets ready. It's looking really cool. I'm super excited about that, and yeah, I can't wait to launch that. And then after that, we also are going to be rolling out more and more UGC, which will be pretty crucial to the Pixel token as well. But essentially, the main thing that we're thinking about is, we want more content in the game, and there's two ways we can go about it. It's creating a system that adds like more elements of skill-based gameplay or competitive gameplay, and then also a system that allows you guys to help us create content. So yeah, that's kind of the two focuses. Thinking about, okay, how can we create an ecosystem and make it as big as possible? And content really drives that. Right now, in order for us to get content in the game, we have to make it by hand. This first UGC element's great because now we're not the blocker around decorations in the game anymore. Like, we want to start to think about how we can basically scale every single area of the game through things like UGC or through things like skill-based and competitive gameplay. So that's the main focus in our mind, just scale and grow the ecosystem, make sure that what we have is sustainable, and experiment on the edge of Web3 and incentive design.
All right, and heading back to just what we were talking about before, what is land XP? So if you go to a land or your own, and I think it's on the gate, you click on the gate, you'll see land skills just like you have for yourself. The land also has skills. So the more it's used by players that participate, and let's say you have got like a woodworking bench and you've got tons of people coming on your land to use your woodworking bench, your land XP will reflect that. So why do we have land skills? Or is there any utility for it right now? Not much. It's pretty cool. It's just like a good display of how busy and exciting your land is and how many people come and hang out on it and farm and participate on it. But we've been thinking about in the future how we're going to implement different things, that reflect those skill levels. So I can see in the future, there being more incentive to wanting to level up those levels and therefore, get more people to come to your land. All right. Let's see here. Any news related to the secret room? Oh, do you mean the room? I think you mean the room in the post office, I would assume. We've had secret rooms in the past. I think that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
No. I think okay, here's some tea if you guys haven't heard it yet. I think there are some boxes in that room right now, but besides that, no. But if you can get in, go in and look at the boxes. Oh, this is a really cool idea. I like it. Visitor history for lands or visit count. Interesting. Okay. All right. And then someone asked this question earlier, and I just asked Tyler, what is the next thing for players to look forward in game? And I literally messaged Tyler and was like, what's coming in the next release that I can talk about? And he just talked about possibly the dashboard, which Luke has already talked about. So I'm sorry, I was expecting for some like fun, crazy alpha, but he thinks that possibly the dashboard will come out. Yeah.
Yeah, potentially one other thing next week as well. That requires like a few other partners to facilitate as well, though.
Yes. Yeah, that was the one.
But yeah, we're looking for more like short term.
I don't know if it's me cutting out or you.
I think it's me.
Okay. All right. Well, we're here. We're done. So we can wrap it up here. Good time for you to start glitching. So yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us. This was really fun to do in a different time zone, even though I can tell Luke and I are both fading. it's so lovely connecting with some other players
So
that
jet
are
lag.
like huge players in our user base. We really appreciate you all so much. Come out to that party on Saturday morning, Eastern Asian time. It'll be a blast. And yeah, thank you all for being here with us. If we missed any of your questions, throw them in general chat, tag myself, Luke, the community team, Farmhands. And I've said this a billion times this AMA, so I'm going to say it again. Fill out our feedback form with any cool ideas you have, because we are listening and watching and implementing based on those. And yes, we will be hopefully also opening up Canny again, which is that kind of like more feedback loop style feedback form kind of thing. Anyways, thank you all so much. And we will see you next week, probably at the same time, right?
Maybe, I guess so.
Yeah. I think it'll possibly, maybe, I don't know, we'll chat either this time or an hour before or after. We'll figure it out, but it should be in your time zone again. So we'll see you all next week. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.